So to start out with grenades, it's important first to understand the upgrades for each one and what they do. Now to upgrade, for anyone who doesn't know, in the middle of a game, you press down on the touchpad in the middle of your controller and a little screen will pop up of everything on your loadout that you can purchase. And I almost always recommend upgrading your gear as fast as you can and being the first thing you do before you buy any sidekicks or mysticals or heavy weapons. Everyone has a different style, but I think most people upgrade their gear. Now with grenades, your first and second upgrades aren't quite as important as your third. You can see here on the right hand side of the screen, your first upgrade is $300 and it gives you 25% faster resupply. Not a huge deal. It probably saves you a few seconds. The second upgrade gives you a 30% faster resupply. Again, not a huge deal. That's $600, so you spent a total of $900 there. Grenades are relatively expensive. I think they might be the most expensive piece of gear. But then that third upgrade is $750. And so that's a grand total of, what is that, $1,650 to get to that third upgrade. And you can carry a second grenade then. That really becomes big when you get in, if you're playing like King of the Hill or something, you get groups of people. That can be very helpful.
What I'm about to do.
Alright guys, grenades are the trickiest piece of gear to use, but it can be very effective if you use it right. There's a lot of different ways to throw it. So first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, you press R1 to throw it. Or to aim it rather. So if you're just holding R1, you can see there it has a nice tall arc and it kind of floats. Now you can throw it farther and faster if you aim, so just aim like you would normally aim, and then press R1. And you can see there the arc is a lot shallower, so it's going to throw it a lot faster and I can throw it a lot farther. So not aiming, you can see there it's a big slow loop. This does have its uses, but in general it's not as good as aiming and throwing it. You can really be accurate with it, and it throws it a lot more sharply and gets on your enemy a lot faster. So if you are going to use just the loopy method, you want to try and set it on top of a ledge. Like say you're here and your enemy is hiding behind that. Well, you can you're not really out from behind cover, you can aim it right there and just kind of land it softly on top of that. What I don't like about that method is you are giving them more time to react because it's that slow loopy arc. Now compare that arcing loopy method to aiming. So if you're aiming it, you're going to want to bounce it because the grenade's explosion time is set by its bounce. So as soon as it bounces, the timer starts until it detonates and explodes. So you have to understand that a little bit. So if I'm throwing it and I'm arcing it, it gives them all the time that it's in the air to react, and they can jump over this hurdle, they can jump out of the way, anything like that. As far as avoiding a grenade, by the way, jumping is more effective than rolling. So you can see here you can loop it, or you can aim it, and I could bounce it here, and it would bounce beside the cover here and blow them up. Now to use this strategically, you want to think about, if I throw it here, if they are able to avoid it, it's going to either be by jumping forward towards me, or they're going to have to go this way. So those are their only options, or they're dead from the grenade. So you want to plan for that. So you can just pop up real quick, throw it, and then aim over here and be ready to shoot them just in case they can avoid it. So the tricky thing can be the bounces on this, because sometimes it sticks, sometimes it'll bounce a million miles, sometimes it bounces sideways. You always want to try and bounce it off as flat a surface as possible. So you can see this is nice and flat. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. So I'm behind cover, there's someone back here. I'm kind of messing with them. Pop up, bounce it there, and they're dead. Alright, so like I said, you want to try and bounce it off of any kind of flat surface. So like walls are really good to bounce off of. You can get around corners that way. You can pretty much get anybody out of any hiding spot. However, you do not want to bounce it off of like rocks. Stairs can be. There are a few spots on some of the maps that are really, really good to bounce the grenades off of. But in general, they can kind of stick on the stairs and they don't bounce at all, and you pretty much never hit your target. But I would want to bounce something here in this area, either off a wall or off this flat concrete, like right in here. I don't want to hit that. I don't want to hit these because I don't know what it's going to do. It could stick. You don't want to hit it off someone's body because it's just going to stick there. It's not going to bounce at your opponent. So like if I throw it there, yeah, it just kind of sticks instead of bouncing. It could even bounce sideways. I've had that happen. I'll actually be in my montage video. So another good way to use grenades is if somebody's chasing you, don't be afraid to bounce it off a wall. Like say somebody's chasing me through here. I'm trying to avoid them. I roll, I bounce it off that wall and they're right behind me, it hits them. And then you can taunt on them. This is a very effective tactic with Spirit of the Djinn as well. You can Djinn in, drop the grenade right next to someone or bounce it right off a wall and then Djinn back out really quickly. Now the last way to use a grenade is to think about getting people out of hiding. Camping can be a problem in this game, and grenades can pretty much reach any spot. So like with anything else, we want to aim and shoot. So say somebody's been up in this bell tower, the hill is like over here in King of the Hill, and there's been someone in this tower up here causing a lot of problems. He's hiding behind this little wall here. I can't quite get him. He goes back behind that post. You know, he's a pretty good player. And so he's hiding in this corner. We can flush him out or kill him by ricocheting off of this post and bam, he's dead. You see how it would detonate right when it's getting to him over in this spot. At the very least, it stuns them, and you can just shoot them for an easy kill. Now, revive packs, the upgrades for that are relatively cheap. Your first upgrade is only $200, so you can get it really, really quickly. And it gives you a second slot for a revive pack. That's huge. You want to get that upgrade as fast as possible, so it goes ahead, starts replenishing that second pack, and it also gives you a little faster resupply. The second one gives you faster throwing speed, which I'll show you how to throw it faster anyway. But it also gives you a larger revive range, and it just helps you. I think it helps you resupply faster, but I'm not totally sure. There's other ways to resupply faster, though. And then the third upgrade is very, very, very important. By the way, that second upgrade is $500 in game, so you spend a grand total of $700. The final upgrade is, I think, $650. So it's really not bad. So it gives you an even faster revive time. I think it revives someone in like a second and a half, something like that, very fast. And it gives people full health when you revive them. Until you've hit that final upgrade, if you revive someone, when they get healed, they come up in the gray, so they can just die very, very easily right away. So that's very, very important. I've seen people go the whole game without fully upgrading because they're buying a heavy weapon or something. And I gotta tell you, at that point, you might as well not even be healing. In my opinion, Revive Pack, especially for King of the Hill, is probably the best piece of gear. I know everybody likes to get kills, use grenade, even C4, but if you're just thinking purely about winning and even in ranked, Revive Pack is most likely going to be your best bet. Unless you're just amazing with grenades and getting tons of kills, you're probably more helpful to your team using the Revive Packs, getting them upgraded to full, and they also give you tons of money when you heal people to use on other things. Alright everyone, like I said, that first upgrade with Revive Pack is going to be very, very important. You need to get that as quickly as possible. So you get that first $200 upgrade, and you can see there it already starts filling in and replenishing my second pack. So Revive Packs, throwing them works the same way as with grenades. You can lob them, but that is pretty much never the best way to use Revive Packs. With grenade, you have a little bit of option. But Revive Pack, you always are going to want to aim and throw. You can throw it way farther and way faster. So you can throw it across the map. You basically have unlimited range. If someone is down all the way across the map, like say they're all the way in the corner past that wall, I could look to try and lob it over those buildings. This isn't maybe the best map to do it, but you can throw it over buildings. All you need to happen is your player that's down on your team needs to turn green. So you see that circle on the ground. If they're within that circle, they will be highlighted in green, and then you know it's safe to throw that Revive Pack and they will be healed. I see a lot of players miss that, and it becomes instinct very quickly. You want to just aim real quick, and it doesn't have to hit them exactly. Like say someone is down here, I don't have to just like aim it at them because it has such a big radius, especially once it's upgraded. It has a huge radius. I can just, I'm shooting, there's people down there. Guy gets downed next to me here. I don't even have to look at him. I can shoot and throw it off this wall, and he would get healed. Don't even have to look at him. Just throw it off that wall. Final thing I'll say on Revive Packs is remember you have your combat revive too, so every time you heal someone you get a reduction on the time to your next gear resupply. So you get another revive pack. It basically fills it halfway full every time you heal someone. So you want to be a little bit judicious about how you use it. You want to make sure your teammate isn't just about to get instantly KO'd, otherwise you've wasted your revive pack. And you also want to make sure that they're ideally back behind cover where they can't just be shot easily in the middle of their heal. So if we're shooting our enemies over here and the guy is down here, probably don't want to throw him a revive pack until he can crawl maybe back behind that cover, or if he can make it all the way back here. But if a guy is right here and all our enemies are over there, no problem, that's an easy revive. And if you can, it's best to, of course, revive in groups. If you heal 2 people, you get a ton of money, first of all, and you get double the gear resupply reduction. So keep that in mind, and you should be making lots of money, keeping lots of teammates very happy, and winning a lot of games with revive packs. The smoke bomb is very cheap, and that's for good reason. It doesn't have a whole lot of practical uses. So first, it only has 2 upgrades also, and the first one's $200, and it gives you a longer duration and a faster resupply. And then the second upgrade is going to give you another faster upgrade in the resupply speed, but you also get to carry a second smoke bomb. And honestly, they resupply so fast, you'll never run out of smoke bombs. You're going to fill the whole map with smoke. People usually use it to troll people. Like I've used it before when I'm running melee only. It's fun to mess with people, and especially if you have a buddy or a couple people running smoke, it just gets ridiculous, and everyone just runs around with melee hook. So that's smoke bomb. Alright, now smoke bomb. Throwing it works just like grenade, revive pack. You can lob it, and it doesn't really matter, but you can aim it better and be more accurate, and just, if you aim it and throw it, you can throw it further. So you get that first upgrade, and it gives you more smoke and a faster resupply. Now, smoke doesn't have a lot of real tactical uses. Like let's say it's King of the Hill, and somebody puts a sniper bot, or they're sniping up there, and the hill is here. Well, what's the best way to stop a good sniper? You can't shoot what they can't see. So let's put the smoke between me and them. It totally obscures their view. and as you upgrade it, it'll just fill the map more and more with smoke. So they can't snipe us there unless we're marked. The only other use is really, other than trying to create chaos and confusion, is if you're trying to melee people. So you can get your melee hook and throw your smoke right into where all the action's gonna be, sneak up on people, flank people, and those are really the uses for smoke bombs. Mines have 3 upgrades, and it's fairly expensive, I think. I don't love mines, but they do have their uses. Though you can catch good players off guard with them if you hide them in a spot that's basically impossible to see. But I don't really love it. I just feel like every other piece of gear is more useful. Anyway, the upgrades are a 20% faster resupply. They do have a slow resupply speed. Second upgrade is just faster explode. So when somebody runs by it, there's not a huge delay. Like before you upgrade it, if somebody can run by it and live. But once you've upgraded it, if somebody runs and detonates it, it's likely that they're going to die. And then that third and final upgrade is you get an additional slot. It's kind of like grenades. You can carry a second mine. And you can have up to 3 mines out at once, I believe. And it gives a larger, it says mid-air explosion on detonate. I think it just gives a bigger radius. And it's not sitting there beeping, alerting people that the mine is there. Like good players, they might be using a headset or they might have their volume turned way up and they can hear the mine when they're near it. So if you're kind of a sneaky player, or maybe if you're sniping and want something watching your back, a mine could be good. So that's the mine upgrades. Alright guys, with mine, you throw it exactly the same way as your other gear. You can aim and or lob it, but either way it has a very short throw distance. Tactically, I don't love mines other than trolling people, but it does have its uses, and if one person on a team is using them very well, it can make the difference. Now the key is hiding it in a very, very good place. It needs to not be seen, and basically be unavoidable, and in high traffic areas. So we're talking about around corners, maybe underneath this window, like someone hops out that window, they can't see it, and they hit it. Maybe hiding it in tall grass, where people are not likely to see it. Some grass over here. Now, like with any other gear, it's important to upgrade. Now here's what I'm talking about. You set this mine out here. It's very visible. See how big it is? It stands out, it lights up, and it makes a beeping sound. Now, if you can get your mines upgraded all the way, which is very expensive considering their utility, then you can carry that extra mine. Plus, it doesn't make that loud beeping sound that alerts everyone that it's there. Plus, it is much, much harder to see. Like, it is absolutely tiny. It's basically invisible. And with any of your gear, if you're like in the middle of throwing it and you decide not to throw it, you just press triangle to cancel. It just goes away. With mines, it's the same thing. If you want to if you've already thrown it, you can pick it up. Just hold triangle. You can have 3 mines out all over the map. So I want to get someone that's been going and flanking us a whole bunch, like in the hill, in King of the Hills over here. They won't be able to see that at all. I can see it, but in the grass, and there's some other maps that are even better for it, they won't be able to see that whatsoever, and you can stop people from getting back to their teammates. They'll never see it coming, and it just gives them one more thing to worry about, instead of shooting you. Going out. C4 is fantastic once you get it upgraded. It's something you can set up. You can use it immediately. It's not that great until you upgrade it. So the first upgrade is going to get you a little faster resupply, and it lets you detonate it when you're down. Otherwise, you don't have any control over it, and it just explodes when you get KO'd. Second upgrade is a very important one because it gets you that second C4, and it'll start replenishing that second one, and you get a faster resupply, and there isn't any delay in how fast, or it's a lot shorter fuse time until you can detonate it. And then the third upgrade just makes it OP. You get an even faster resupply. The detonation delay, I mean, it just explodes so fast. You can detonate it almost instantly and get rid of people chasing you, or you can. It's really not fair if you use it correctly. And so that's the upgrades for C4. Alright, C4 may be pound for pound the best gear for killing, so not better than Revive Pack, because it is one less loadout point than grenades, only 3. It resupplies faster than grenades. I think it has about the same kill radius as grenades. I'm not totally sure on that. And you can still hold 2 of them, and you can use it even after you're dead, and you can plan it in advance. The only disadvantage it has to grenades is you can't throw it quite as far. So you can see here, like you can lob it just like any other gear, but even if you're aiming it, if you want to throw it far, you really have to be you have to lob it real high, and you have to be good at estimating where it's going to land once you get up into this range. So you can see it when it's not upgraded, it detonates very slow, or the fuse is very slow, but it can still be useful. Now, once you get that upgrade and you get that second one, you can start getting the second piece of C4 replenishing, and it starts priming a lot faster, and then you can blow someone up. And it's just ridiculously fast once you get that third and final upgrade. So if you're playing Command, for example, and this is one of the territories to capture, well, I can put, like, and say people hide here a lot, or hide here, and this goes for any map. You can put a C4, like there. No one's probably going to look there. And then I can be on the other side of the map. So I'm fighting for this hill up here, up on the roof, and I see someone is trying to capture that territory over there. Well, I don't have to stop what I'm doing at all. All I have to do is press down on the directional pad, and it'll blow up over there. And it'll most likely kill them. I've gotten people so many times that way. Say someone is in there, just like our scenario before. They're hiding in there. Instead of ricocheting it, we can get creative. We can try and just loop it in there on the floor. Or we can stick it to the wall or even the ceiling, but I don't really like that as much because you can't pick it up. Like, if you don't need to use it, you can always just pick it back up. So we can plant it up there, and he has nowhere to go. So if I blow that up and it doesn't kill him, if it's not close enough to kill him, I've still planted it there where he has no option, and he's trapped in that one little spot where we can push him. And if he tries to do anything and escape, we blow him up. Because if he takes one step in this direction, he's dead. So you can really be strategic with C4. So like in our grenade scenario when we were here, if you just want to flush them out, you can throw it, they're hiding behind this barrier, you can toss it there, or you can toss it there, and you don't even have to blow it up, but you force their hand because they have to bail out of there. And if you throw the C4 right there, they have no choice but to go over here. So without even wasting your gear or blowing it up, just by simply throwing it there, they'll immediately pop out and you can shoot them and you know exactly where they're going to be. And if they don't, then you just simply blow them up. And that is why C4 might be the best piece of gear there is. Now, when we're talking about gear, it's also important to understand a few boosters that help reduce the timing on getting those. It's probably not as important for healing because it has its own uh, booster. But Lock and Load 2, I've never actually used it, but I'm thinking about using it here. You see that bottom bullet point on Lock and Load 2, picking up any ammo drop will give you 3 seconds toward your gear. I mean, if you're downing a lot of people, you can get grenades back really quickly. I mean, you're constantly picking up ammo. Even if you pair that with Scavenger, maybe, that could be interesting with a pistol-only loadout, especially. Now, if you're someone that uses Helping Hand 3 to revive people, I don't really recommend that. I feel like there's better uses for your loadout points. But if you are someone that likes to use that, consider using Combat Revive 2, because every time you heal someone, the time to your next gear resupply is reduced by 15 seconds. Now, when I'm going for healing, I heal a lot of people, and on any loadout where I have revive packs, I have Combat Revive 2. I feel like that's an absolute must. You just cannot avoid it. It basically gives you unlimited revive packs unless you're just terrible with them. It is an amazing booster and absolutely necessary, and I can't recommend it enough. Uh, Headmaster is an interesting one. I don't use it, but for people that are really good with headshots, maybe use Arrowhead or something like that, maybe Foul even. This could be a great booster for you. So the first level of it is only 2 loadout points, and it decreases your gear resupply time by 10 seconds every time you down someone with a headshot. To me, I feel like that's rare enough in the game where it doesn't really give you a benefit. But the second level of it does take up 4 loadout points, but it gives you that same 10-second reduction every time you down someone, but every time you get a headshot, period, whether it downs them or not, you get a 3% reduction in your gear time. So, I mean, say you're using Arrowhead and you just hit someone 3 times in a row with a headshot, you just take 9 seconds off. I mean, I feel like that's common enough where that can be very useful. And especially if a team's using a lot of sidekicks, you can just sit there and farm their sidekicks with like a brute or a savior or a sniper, and just get your headshots on them, and you can just have tons of grenades you're throwing or C4. So that could be a really useful booster if that fits your playstyle.